Hey, this is Waz Words Media back at y'all for another round. And fight fans, let's talk some boxing. Huge fight goes down tomorrow in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center as unified 154-pound champion Xander Zayas puts his WBO and WBA titles on the line against Jaron Boot Ennis. This is a major fight. It's a 50-50 fight, and that is by definition what a major fight is. It's not a fight when you go in and one person you're like, this person just has that fight. You know, the other person has no chance, or the other person has a slight chance. When it's a fight of this magnitude, it means both fighters have a huge chance to win. The advantages that each fighter has, when you look at Xander Zayas, he's been the fighter fighting at 154 pounds for a long time. You know, he actually is in position to move up pretty soon, but he knows this is unfinished business at 154. He wants the big fights at 54 before moving up, and this is one of the bigger fights that he could possibly make. And, you know, so he has the size. He's the guy that's been at 154 for a long time. Jaron Boot Ennis, his career basically been at 147. He just moved up, you know, about a year or two ago. So he's had a few fights at 54, but the bulk of his career is at 147. So the guy with the more experience at 154, the bigger guy, is Xander Zayas. However, the guy who I think is slightly more skilled is Jaron Boot Ennis. So here you have it. A guy, you know, Jaron Boot Ennis was already a bigger guy at 147. He was already a big 147 pounder that looked like he could easily move to 154. But Xander Zayas is the natural 154 guy. So you got two guys that are big, but one guy's slightly bigger. Then, on a talent-wise, when it comes to the skill sets, you got two guys that are skilled, but one I think is a little slightly more skilled, and that is Jaron Boot Ennis. So now, when it comes to this fight, I actually think the size accompanied with the skill is going to win. I see Xander Zayas pulling what is going to be considered an upset, being that Jaron Boot Ennis is the bigger known name. He's the more established star. But I do think Xander Zayas, he has the right approach. He's not scared of Jaron Boot Ennis. And if there's one thing that we've heard or seen, rather, from Jaron Boot Ennis' previous fights, is that Jaron Boot Ennis, he gets hit a lot. He gets hit a lot. The defense is not fully there. Jaron Boot Ennis gets hit a lot. And what's helped him in the past is that when he's gotten hit, it's been by guys that are smaller than him. You know, but now he's going to be in a fight with a guy that throws punches and volumes, and he throws combination punches, but he's going to be the slightly bigger guy. I think that will be a big difference. We have to see how Jaron Boot Ennis will take the punch of a bigger guy, because he's used to being the bigger guy in the ring. We're used to seeing Ennis towering over opponents. So the interesting thing for me is to see is how will Ennis take the punch of a bigger guy, and a guy that's gonna come in there to throw with intention. So that to me plays the biggest factor of this, that can go down the middle, a 50-50 fight. This is a true pick'em. That either man could win. But I think that slight advantage of the fact that Ennis' defense has not been the tightest throughout his career, and we've seen many times, what was the fight? Was it Stanionis? There was a certain fight that he was just getting tagged a lot. And I'm like, man, if he moves up and he's fighting guys bigger than him at middleweight, or even here at junior middleweight, you got guys that are big and can crack, like Findora and such like that. He's going to have to tighten up on his defense. He was able to get away with a lot of that at 47 because he was the biggest guy at 47. But at 54 and 60, you're going to have to tighten up. You know, the reason why Floyd Mayweather was able to survive moving up 3-4 times was because his defense was very tight. You know, that's when he became more of a defensive fighter. And that's the thing, you know, he's gonna have to emphasize his defense because you can't keep getting tagged when you're moving up in weight like that. But unless you have a granite chin. But we'll see. We'll see what that has in store. Tomorrow it goes down. 154-pound collision. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one, man. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Who you think is gonna win this fight? Either way, it's gonna be entertaining to see the outcome. I'm Waz Words Media. Peace.